What is up, TCG Sports? Back at it again today. Two videos in one day. Boy, I must be crazy. I think I am crazy today. But today we are back, and now I am with Willing Miners General Manager and Head Coach, Coach Rez. Coach Rez, how you doing today, buddy?
Man, I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh man, I think I'm losing my mind, Coach, but I think I got it together.
There you go. Yeah,
So, Coach,
you ain't the only one, bud.
I believe it, Coach. How's the off season treating you, bud?
Oh, it's busy. It's busy trying to get some stuff buttoned up from this previous season. At the same time, getting stuff in order for next year and getting ready, putting some stuff together for we got our league meeting coming up this next week in Omaha with the National Arena League meeting stuff. So looking forward to that. We'll get a lot of information and get some stuff buttoned up for going into the real off season for this what we got coming up and with from player projections and tryouts and just getting everything built for next year. So we're looking for a lot of stuff coming up. So we're looking forward to it.
Outstanding, Coach. So this week we've talked to Tyree Williams, one of the many scorers for the championship game. We just got done about an hour ago with Pete, not long ago. He was an absolute blast. What a humble man. I can tell you that right now, in all honesty. You know, Coach,
Yeah.
we're all really excited about this NAL season. And, you got some new teams coming in. Got Corpus Christi, Harrisburg. And, so along your journey, you won two championships with the Atlanta Havoc, one with the Atlanta Havoc. Now you got one with the Wheeling Miners. Over your coaching career, how have you seen yourself grow more into becoming the coach you are today?
The way I see it is, through the years and just gaining the experience, and when as a younger coach, fiery, all over the place, yelling at everybody, just being a little wild. As you grow through the seasons and the years, man, you kind of figure out when to use those moments and when not to, and not be that 120, 24/7. So I think for me overall, just from a growing standpoint of more maturing as a coach, you've seen me coaching, so I don't really like wear my emotions on my sleeve. If I get pissed, you're gonna know I got mad, but I'm also gonna stay calm. There's certain moments where you need to be able to be cool, calm, and collective because you want your players to feed off that. And if you're going nuts and being wild, then their players are going to feed off that, and they're going to be nuts and wild and be a little overly aggressive sometimes. So, I've been fortunate through the years, had some really good teams. I try to put, the best people around me to help with stuff because I can't do it all by myself. Even though I have my hand in everything from top to bottom, I still got to have people that are pursuing what our vision is for the team. So I'm still driving the bus, but I'm not the wheels that are turning.
Understand that. So I got some background on you. You used to coach for the Harrisburg Stampede, the Carolina Cobras, the Atlanta Havoc, and also the Columbus Lions. Being here in Wheeling, West Virginia, how has that fan base in Wheeling, a part of the games, how has that driven you to be more of a competitive coach?
Well, it's been crazy. So you left out a few teams there. There's only one team in my career that I've been there for multiple years, and that was in Carolina. I thought Carolina was going to be my end all place to where I can grow that into a dynasty, so to speak. And I coached high school football there, so to be able to do both was going to be amazing for me, and that's what I've always wanted to do. So when it didn't quite, that's not what was in the cards for me. So I kind of, when I took 2023 off, I really had to regroup on what I was doing, and I thought I was in the right situation, but sometimes things reveal themselves after the fact, and I'm kind of blessed the way things have played out. there's a lot of things that happen that you can't foresee happening, and it's just like life itself. So I do everything as I do for in all aspects. Coaching isn't what you see me coaching. That's not me just putting on a show. Like that's my life. Like I live to do football. Like that's what I do. So that is my life. That's how I live my life. That's how I raise my kids. That's how I am as a husband. Everything's competitive. We're all we're trying to be the best people that we can be. And so Wheeling, for me, has been, and my whole career, it has been the best place that I've been from an overall experience of the fan engagement, the fans being so receptive to us, even though they might be skeptical, they're still sports fans and they think it's cool. But for them to 100% buy in, they have to believe that we are what we said we're going to be, and that we are going to be here, and we are going to be good, and we are going to be a part of the community, and our players are going to be fan friendly. And one of my close friends, Matt Porter, who's an assistant coach of ours and also my assistant general manager, he says it all the time. Like, we did everything that I said that we were going to do. There isn't anything that I said that we were going to do or that was going to come up that didn't happen or that we didn't do. And that's just because of my experience. And there's been some stuff that come along, butt heads a little bit with some of the owners on some things. And here's the roadmap. Everyone needs to follow the roadmap, but you always got somebody that wants to take their own direction. And I even said for a few different things, if this is what's going to happen when we do this, and when we get to this point of the season, if someone does this or does that, this is what's going to happen. And when those opportunities came and someone went left when we were all going right, something happened that I told you was going to happen. So just stay on the roadmap. This isn't, when you do this, the cool thing about what we do with this game, we can pick this up, move it over to Columbus, Ohio, and do the same thing. We can pick this up, move it over to Philadelphia, and then do the same thing. It doesn't matter where you're at. The model's the same. It's just every day, and you'll see it. And again, I said this earlier today, and it's the same for everything, but the model is the model. The business is easy. Football is easy. The people mess it up every time. It's the people that causes the problem. It's the people that messes, that does the wrong thing, that goes the wrong direction and whatnot. So we've been pretty fortunate in Wheeling. I am most excited about that. And, with me signing my 3-year extension yesterday and announcing that, that was important for me, but not only for me and my family, but for the Valley and Wheeling to know that if this coach is staying here for 3 years, well, that means the dang team for sure is going to be here for a lot longer than 1 year. The 2-year extension, like I have had a plan for everything that we're doing, and it's all fallen in place. I feel, and I've said it a few times, and people have said, "Oh, you just need to focus on the minors. Don't worry about all that other stuff." Well, I want to worry about it. I want us to be bigger than the Greyhounds. I want us to be bigger than the Nailers. I want us to be one of the top things in the Valley that you have to go see. And, why not? The NAL, the league that we're in, that we're fortunate enough to be in, is about the same level as Wilkes-Barre. So they're the next higher level above the Nailers, and then above them is the NHL. Well, the same thing with the NAL. The next thing above us is the UFL, CFL, and NFL. So there isn't anything above us. There's no reason for players to leave. Hell, we got players moving here. Like one of our old linemen, Brandon Thorpe, just moved into an apartment in Bel Air, and he's from Atlanta. Aaron Finch, one of our DBs, he's moving up here. Now, he went to school at Wheeling, so he's got a little bit more ties here. But Wheeling's not Atlanta, so obviously there's a reason why these guys want to come up here because, maybe they might not get an NFL call. But if they can get a job and start providing for themselves and their families and start a family and still play 4 to 5 years of some really good football, that's what it's all about, man. I love winning championships. I love winning. I love appearances in the championship game because I've been in 5 and only won 2. All that's cool, but it's the little things to me. When I coach high school, I've had 9 players come back through college and then come back and play arena football for me. That is awesome to me as a coach. That I coached you in high school, and even though I was hard on you, I did enough for you to want to play for me again, and that is cool. Yeah, that to me, that's better than wearing a ring. Rings are cool and stuff, but that stuff lasts for a lifetime. I can lose my ring, you know what I mean? But the stuff with coaching guys and those type things, and they want to be a part of what we're doing. It's just what we're doing is special. And the funny part is we haven't even scratched the surface of what we can do and what's coming.
Absolutely, Coach. I can honestly tell you right now, this has been phenomenal for the Miners in Wheeling, West Virginia. The fan base is absolutely crazy. I can't believe it at all. So let's talk. Let's go back for a minute. A couple weeks back, July 6th, you guys had there was some very high emotions going on in that game with Peach State. Several fights broke out onto the field. How did you keep your players in check and their emotions in check throughout that game?
Well, and it's the way I've been with them all season. Like, it's when guys come in, especially when they come into our house and they're trying to cause issues. Protect yourself. Go ahead and talk back. If they're going to run their mouth, run your mouth. But we also got to be smart. You can't do anything stupid. You can't throw punches. You can't do any of that stuff. If it's 4th and long, don't hit anyone late. That stuff like that. If it's don't, it's just certain things you don't want to do. Those are mental errors. But it's okay to get live. But the way that we had our relationship with our players and as a team and as a family, like if I told them to lock it down, then they shut up and they keep it moving and they let it go. But it's one of those things to where you got a guy that's a little wild and you're the coach and like, Coach, you need to get your guy. I was like, I didn't need to get nothing. He ain't bothering me. So and you want guys like that, but at the same time, I can tell them to turn the switch off and then they're good. But if the switch is on and they're allowed to do it, I mean, our guys have a lot of freedom. If any, I don't even know a lot of the conversations that you've had with a lot of our players, interviews. But one thing I promise that they probably said is that they love being here. They're taken care of, and they really don't want to play anywhere else, obviously, unless they get an NFL opportunity or something like that. But we created a family atmosphere, and when you are a tight knit group like that, you're winning. Like, you're going to win game after games after games, winning championships. Those are championship caliber teams. We're building a pedigree. I don't care about the players individually. We care about each other, and that's the difference from us and a lot of other teams.
And honestly, Coach, a lot of the players that I have talked to so far from the Miners have absolutely high respect for you. They've told me several times he is strict, but he is definitely fair, and he will tell you when you need to shut the hell up. So, so Coach, you're going into the NAL. What's the biggest challenge for you guys now?
To just stay grounded. Don't get overly excited because we are in a better league. At the end of the day, we could be just as competitive with those teams that played this past season with the team we have this year. So, and I explained to the guys, we're going into a league where I don't want to be competitive. I want to go into a league where we're going to be doing the same thing we just did. Now, we're not going to be beating people 77-3, but there's a difference. I can still own you and we beat you 28-24. I can still own you with a close score. It's just a matter of those moments. We put ourselves in situations. We manage the game. But for us to be dominant, we do have to upgrade a couple spots, and that's and that's okay. As a coach, I've been in the NAL. I know what it takes to win in the NAL. I've been in the championship game multiple times in the NAL. So when you're looking at it like that, there isn't a whole lot we got to do to prepare for. Other than just the biggest thing that guys are going to get used to is we dressed a couple of times anywhere from 26 to 30 dudes in games. Well, that's going to change. I kind of spoiled myself by doing that too. But when we go to the NAL, we'll have 35 in camp, not 40 like we did last year. We'll have 25, have to cut it down to 25, unlike 35 or 30 like we did this past season. And only 21 can dress no matter what. And now we dressed anywhere from 24 to 30. We dressed 30 the last 3 games of the season. Actually, 29 in the championship game. But overall, that's a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
But not only did we dress them, everybody got paid. Like, we paid everybody. I'm not going to expect anyone to play for free. Like, that's not what we do. And some of the teams, players did get paid. And so you can see the difference of the caliber between the teams and the players. I built our team prepared and ready to go to wherever we were going. And that was the plan from the get go.
You know, Coach, because I spoke to last night on the podcast with commentator Jeff Blumenauer last night. Jeff is a phenomenal person.
Yeah.
Tyree Williams has one of those voices that it could just put you to sleep if you're not careful. And, you know, Jeff was talking about Harrisburg, the Harrisburg Stampede, doing a little bit of trash talking already. Coach, how do you respond to this already?
Well, I got a deep history with everyone there in Harrisburg. You know, I used to coach there. You know, some of the guys, the OC, was there when I was there. I faced the OC there a couple other times. The most recent was in 2019 when he was the head coach of the New York Streets and the NAL. I was the defensive coordinator for the Carolina Cobras at the time. And we were shutting them out 47-0 at halftime. So, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready for those guys. It's exciting. But the biggest thing for me with that whole situation is our fans are going to be able to be a part of that because we're so close to Harrisburg. Like I told them, I said, we're bringing a fan bus there. So y'all be prepared. I need a good ticket rate, a good group rate for my fans coming because we're bringing a bus. We're coming. And that's just how it's going to be. And we even talked about possibly doing one down to Carolina if we could fill it. You know, we can get the fans to come down. We'll get a hotel deal involved and all that. So there's all kinds of. See, we couldn't do this stuff this year. You know, I'm not going to take everyone to an indoor soccer facility. Like I wasn't doing it. I knew where we were going, and I didn't want everyone to go and see and get a perception of, damn, this is what these games look like. No, they don't. Trust me. We just got to get through this year, and it's coming. We're going to be in a great situation. And I think it took us all year to really get to that point with the fans. But I've told multiple people this, and I've said this on multiple podcasts. I've said it in a couple of articles. One, we will be packed and sold out in West Bango. It ain't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. How fast can we get it to be sold out? Where every game, doesn't matter if it's Monday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday, doesn't matter. We are a legit football team, a legit entertainment. You don't want to miss it. And we're going to be packed. And on top of that, we will be, if not one of the, if not the toughest places to play in the country because of how rowdy it gets and loud in there. And the championship game was rocking. It was electric. I got guys that's been around this for a long time and long-time AFL fans with Jim, Jeff's partner on our coaching show that does the Inside the Walls podcast. He thought it was amazing. And he's coming from the Jacksonville Sharks for the Shark Tank when they got 9,000-10,000 people screaming. So when you can put on a show like that where it's rocking and it sounds like 10,000 people, but it's only 3,500, that's scary to know if you're packed at 5,000 deep and we got freaking cowbells going, we got drum line going, we got everything that can make. Oh, the fans are going nuts. You will not want to be there as a away team. It'll suck, especially if we keep winning and you're struggling. Our fan base is going to let you know it.
Absolutely, because I can tell you right now, Coach, the first playoff game against Jersey, that crowd, like I'm telling you right now, if you had a phone call, you better not answer it because you're not hearing anybody at all. And especially with the Peach State game, when you needed that crowd more and more, that crowd just got lit up like crazy. But Coach, you look at, the minors throughout the year, and then all of a sudden, you and I, we had talked up there in the Highlands during the event up there in the Highlands, and you said that, after the close game you had, you wanted a blowout. Well, that's what you got. And, if you look at Grant Russell, how has Grant commanded this offense so well throughout the season?
Grant, a lot of people don't realize, and I've said this a few times too, that, Grant hadn't played since 2019 when he was with the Columbus Destroyers. So playing this year to then, 5 years, that's pretty, that's a long layoff without playing any football. Especially at this level, no matter what league we're in, it's like people are coming to kill you. Like they're coming to take your head off. Like that's scary in itself. As a quarterback, you got to stand in the pocket. I hadn't seen big dudes running at me in a minute. So, I get in there, I'm gonna be dropping back crazy, throwing that junk into the stands, not getting, because you ain't sacking me. So with Grant, he it didn't take him but a couple weeks to get the dust off and the rust off, whatever you want to say. And Grant is a stud. I mean, Grant is your typical quarterback that you want leading your organization, being the face of your team, and a lot of people didn't really know Grant until the first couple games, and once they got to know him, then of course you start looking him up and see, oh, this kid's an Ohio kid. He's not too far from here. Stuff like that. And he played at ODU, and then oh yeah, he was a Harlan Hill finalist, which a lot of people don't know. That's the Heisman of Division II. So that's a lot of players in Division II. So to be able to be a finalist and for that award is pretty awesome within its own right. And then you could tell the difference of our team when Grant was not at the playoff game, when he was on his honeymoon. And from the offensive standpoint, as the team standpoint, because we're such a tight knit group, because we're such a family, it's like when you're brothers and your family, like, I'm gonna pick you up, bud. I got you. I'm gonna pick up the slack for you, and that's kind of how it was. And we were, matter of fact, we were just joking about it today at Bel Air High School. We went and checked out Coach Porter's high school team. He coaches over there, and I was talking with Coach Ma, and we were telling a story in the game when Panasuk was at quarterback. There was a couple times I walked by Ma. I was like, man, you got to pick us up, bud. We need some help. And we got one of the top defenses in the game. When you put it together, like, it doesn't matter. Like, look at, for instance, when Todd Simmons was at quarterback for the Bearcats. That's a different dude, right? Like, a lot of people don't know his background. He played. I know he played a little bit at WVU, not his whole career, collegiate career, but he did play some at WVU. But then he went on and played some in the NFL, and he just had to work out with the Ravens, and they got picked up. So, he's a special dude. So you got him running around, and we're shutting him down. He looked like he was in a phone booth a couple times where he didn't have nowhere to go because our defense was all over. And that's an NFL caliber skill player that we locked down, right? So our defense was pretty special this year, and I'm excited to see them work against these other teams that it's the indoor style, so it's more of an outside game than it is the arena style, and that's what we love. I love Canadian football. I love outdoor football. That's basically what it is. CFL rules basically on a 50-yard field with 8-on-8 with two dudes running waggle motion. So it's a lot more running, a lot more stuff like that. So when we know we got a defense that's pretty tough, that they're not going to give up a lot of stuff, that makes it easier for us on the offensive side.
Absolutely, Coach. Now, because I mean, if you look throughout the entire season, you guys have grown so much more as, brothers and family members and, stuff like that, and you look at Grant, like you said, he's an absolute stud, making throws that I haven't really seen anybody else really make in quite a long time, honestly, But you see, Panasek, when he started for you guys against Jersey in that playoff game, how did you keep him composed as much as you possibly could?
Well, it was tough, I'm not gonna lie. But he stayed composed because I stayed composed. I didn't show frustration. I didn't show anger towards him if he messed up. I didn't show, because look, as a quarterback, all eyes are on you no matter what. Good or bad, you're in the spotlight. If you mess up, oh, we're gonna hear it. If we mess up, get his ass out. That's the coach. Get him out. Get him out of there. And if you could have heard some of the stuff that some of the fans were saying about him and getting him out, and Coach Rez, come on, blah 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 blah. I'm like, I cannot lose composure. I got to keep my cool. And because just imagine if I blew up on the kid, he was already sinking. I'm not trying to step on his head under the water. Like, we're trying to get him out. Like, we're trying to get him to the point where we just need, I didn't care if we won by 1 point. It doesn't matter. We just got to get into the game. And our defense was not going to falter and let us lose that game. Like, they kept us in that game. We made some plays when we needed to on offense, but defensively won that game. So I did everything I could to keep him as much confidence as possible. And because of my players react a lot off of how I am, if you hadn't noticed. So
Yeah, most definitely.
with being calm towards him, all you heard was defensive players telling him, "We got you. Don't worry about it. We got it. We got this. We got you guys." That was awesome to hear as a coach, knowing that sometimes you can sit back and like, man, we put this together. Like, this is awesome. This is why we're winning. This is why we are such a tight group, because we all care for each other, and that's a big difference.
Coach, if you look at the Bearcats game and the playoff, and the ability for Panasek to bring the team together, no panicking with you guys. You couldn't really feel bad for Grant not being there. He was in Hawaii anyway, so he was living it up in Hawaii. But Coach, I can honestly say, being able to talk to you, give you a hug at the end of the championship game was absolutely phenomenal. Being able to talk to you guys, this has got to be one of the most God-fearing teams I have ever seen in my life, and it has been an absolute blast. Watching you as a Marine combat vet, getting into the faces of these referees, and I don't think I would have the guts to be able to get into a referee's face and start chewing somebody out. But hey, you got more guts than I do, Coach. I'll let you do that for me. But
well, with that, it's still clean. I might have a few choice words here or there, but I'm not. I know how to work the referees without stepping over the line, and it helps to know the rules in and out. So if I'm pleading my case, it's because I'm telling you you're wrong. Like, this is the rule. And when they go check it out and they come back at halftime, Coach, you're right, our bad. I think there was one that I was off a little bit, and I'm like, you know what, it's fine. It was something about a motion thing or something like that. But overall, like, if I'm on them, it's because they're close. That's one of the things that I am most looking forward to in the NAL, is to have the replayability and the challenge flag, because I done already told him, I said, some of you are going to be getting hit with his red flag. I'm already telling you that right now.
So, Coach, real quick, I wanted to ask you, because I spoke to Tyree on Tuesday afternoon. Did you get a chance to check out Jarvey Flowers and Dante Mason up in Duluth at all?
A little bit. And what was cool about that, Ben is one of our player personnel guys, and those are guys that are kind of in his network. And he called and just said, the coach there wants some of our guys to come, finish the season out with them. How do you feel? I told him I had to reach out to you first, which was awesome. But at the end of the day, they know where home's at. They know where they're coming back to. And I'm okay with them to continue on and get more experience and keep making some money, playing. That's what it's about for me. If they want to stay somewhere because they feel like it's better there, by all means. But there's a lot of guys that go do other stuff, and they're like, damn, we actually had it more than good back in Wheeling. So I like it when they go to other places like that, especially when you create something that's pretty awesome for the players, and then you get a taste of something else somewhere. It's not a bad organization that they have, but they just don't have all the stuff that we have. And so, as a player, now I've always said our players are our biggest recruiter, because when they're a part of it and they see it, now they're telling their friends, their teammates, people that they've played with, like, this is where you need to be, bud. Come on, bro. Like, this is where you got to go. This is the place to be. And so that's what we tried to create. And I feel like we did a good job for the most part for building the foundation. We got a long ways to go to be where I want us to be, but we definitely are in the right direction, and letting those guys kind of go. Ultimately, for me, it's for them to really go make some more money. Is what it came down to. I didn't care. They're good guys. Those are two guys that maybe have been looked over through the last couple seasons and should have had some opportunities. And that's what it's about, giving guys an opportunity to showcase what they can do. Because I was surprised by a lot of guys, of giving some guys some opportunities that we may not have done before. So it's helped me overall as a coach, and then go see those guys that continue making some money is pretty cool.
Absolutely, Coach. I mean, it's been a it's been a phenomenal run for you guys. Undefeated right now, inaugural season back in Wheeling, West Virginia. You guys going to the NAL this next season. There's a lot of good teams out there, and Carolina Cobras coming, being there. Harrisburg Stampede coming in. Then you got Corpus Christi, the Tritons, and if I'm correct, you coached for the Columbus Lions. Am I correct?
I did. I was the defensive coordinator there back in 2013.
So a lot of these games for you, does it seem more? Is it more personal for you going up against these teams again, or how do you control that going up against these teams for the next season?
So I enjoy going to Columbus. That's a cool place to coach in. They got a great atmosphere. My biggest thing that I strive for on the road is silence. If you get the crowd to shut up, you're doing something excellent. Because if they can't, there's nothing to yell about or cheer about because their team's getting smacked around. That is one of the best feelings in the world. So, I enjoy looking forward to that. Going back to Carolina is going to be special for me. Being there, that's the longest place that I've been at in my career. I was there from 2019 through the 2022 season. I really didn't want to leave when I left, but it's just, sometimes you get to that point where you just need a change of scenery because, stuff isn't always what it seems to be. And it's unfortunate because I only lived an hour from there, but, I know the head coach there. He was an assistant for me back in 2021, a little bit in 2022, not a whole lot. He was going through some health stuff during that time. But to see him as the head coach, will be pretty cool to get to go head to head versus him. But it'll be one of those house divided things because I still got a ton of fans there, and they're gonna want to cheer their team on, of course. But I'm not gonna get a lot of boos. We'll get some stuff. It'll be respectable. I'm sure some guys will be running their mouth and talking crap, but I wouldn't expect anything less. I'm not gonna expect you to cheer for us. Coming in your house. That's not the type of fans are in the stink pit, but it'll be all love and, it'll be fun time. And I'm just going to tell you right now, like, we ain't losing those games. We play Carolina. It's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
And they know what's coming. And we talk junk all the time and, building it up. But at the end of the day, our team will be superior to them. And if they beat us, then I'll be the first one to say, great job. That's we're not going to win all these games. It's going to be tough to go undefeated in this league. Is it possible? Sure. But, so is losing every game. It's possible. But I can promise you that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
we will for sure be very competitive, be there at the end for a chance to make it to the championship game and have a chance to win it. So I will not guarantee that we win the championship, but I can guarantee you that we'll be one of the top teams that's got a shot to win it.
Absolutely.
If you read anything in the article that came out about my extension yesterday, literally July 6th game was my 4th championship in 5 seasons coached.
Yep.
Now, those other 2 seasons were in the NAL. Another season was in the AAL when we won in 2018 versus the Rough Riders. So it doesn't matter to me the league. We're going to build our team according to where we're at. And we're going to be successful. I mean, we're going to be right there, and the teams know it. That's when you start talking loud and everyone starts talking junk because they know that we're not going to just be a pushover. We're not just a new team coming into the league. That we are new, but we're not new. We cheated this year because we had a year together before going to the NAL. So to me, that's cheating because we're not an expansion team. We are, but we're not. So that's what I'm most looking forward to, and bringing the majority of our guys back, is going to be pretty awesome. And we're not going to have to be building continuity during camp. We already got it. It's just a matter of fine tuning some stuff and be able to rock that first game.
Absolutely. Coach, I got a few more questions for you and a couple little funny ones if you don't mind me asking.
Hey, no problem, man. I'm on the road, so I got plenty of time.
So these for next year in the NAL, you're going to have 2 wide receivers in motion. Does this open up the playbook for you a little bit more as a head coach?
Absolutely. There's a lot more stuff we can do. Most of your rule changes are more so on the defensive side because you can play with 1 linebacker in the box. You can play with 4 DBs, almost like 2 safeties and 2 corners. So there's a lot of cool stuff defensively. The defensive lineman can drop into coverage and stuff like that. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do on defense. Again, it's a lot like outdoor football. So on the offensive side, there's a lot more running involved. The quarterback will be more involved in the run game. Your true running backs like Charles Westbrook, will actually be able to showcase what he can do as a true running back. But you also can go empty. You can also empty the backfield and just have the quarterback back there and have 4 receivers going out for passes. So there's a lot of cool stuff. It opens up a lot of different things. We'll be pretty similar to some of the base stuff, but a lot of it changes being 2 guys in motion and just the angles are different and stuff happens much faster with 2 guys running in motion. And there's just a lot more cooler stuff that you can do. I guess you can say I'm an air raid spread guy outside, so I'm at home with all the read stuff and the RPOs and the screen stuff and the short games and that we're in my football now, so I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, Coach. It's been an absolute phenomenon to see you guys this year and be able to talk to a lot of the players, especially you. If you look at, especially, I want to say first off, congratulations on the 3-year extension. A very well deserved head coach. But I will tell you this, and I think it's kind of funny. I see you guys going to the NAL. A lot of these tough teams in the NAL, especially Omaha. Everybody talks about Omaha as this team that nobody can beat. I spoke to Tyree about it Tuesday. I was like, you think you guys got a chance to beat Omaha? And he goes, oh, we're not just going to beat them. We're going to run them out of their own building. But Coach, I got a funny question to ask you if you don't mind.
Okay.
What is, just for the viewers, I got to find out, what is Coach Rez's favorite go-to food?
Favorite go-to food. So I like to try all different kinds of pizzas. So anything pizza is pretty solid for me. There is a place in town that I actually found a pretty cool appetizer dish that I like. I tried to make it at home, but wasn't successful. It was the at Figueretti's there in Wheeling. They got that stuffed banana peppers and Italian sausage.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty good meal. I like going there every so often, but for the most part, anything pizza there in town, and it's almost every restaurant in the area there has pizza. So that's kind of cool to be able to try everyone's pizza.
Pizza's amazing. You know who likes pizza? Everybody likes pizza. You can't go wrong with pizza, I tell you right now. And absolutely, Figueretti's has got to be one of the best places, especially for me. I mean, I'm an Olive Garden kind of guy when it comes to pasta, but I ain't gonna lie, Figueretti's has got some good food. But
and I will say, Undo's has the best salad dressing, like their homemade salad dressing. That is pretty good. You can eat that on any salad with any style, so it's pretty good.
Hey, I'm a salad eater at heart, and my wife isn't much of a salad eater, but me, yeah, I can devour some good salads. I don't look like it. I'll be truthful and honest with you, Coach. I don't look like it, but I like my good salad. So, Coach, I got one good question for you. You ready for it? So,
say again.
Do what? So, my big question for you, Coach.
No, I lost you for a minute. Go ahead. What'd you say?
Okay, so I got one good question for you. You ready for it?
Yeah.
All right. Who is taking the national championship this year in college football? Who do you have?
Ooh, that's tough.
See, I got Coach Rez on a tough one here. Finally.
That's tough. There's some good teams out there. There's gonna be some good teams. There's I like to see how well Colorado can be. Adding some stuff to what they needed up front. I felt Colorado was pretty solid last year. If they had some better O linemen, they would have won a lot more games. Tennessee's always going to be tough now. What I'm really anxious to see is how bad Alabama's going to be without Coach Saban. So,
Oh, no, but Coach, you're breaking my heart. I'm a Bama fan. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, Coach.
But like a lot of the SEC teams, I don't really have a favorite in college. I like more so following coaches and those type things and the systems and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to it. It's hard for me to say. I haven't really dove into like all the programs and to see who's what, but I like to see how far Colorado can make it this year for sure.
Absolutely. Being a Bama fan, I think a lot of us Alabama fans were a little shocked when Nick Saban decided to retire. But see, we picked up that head coach out of Washington, Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah.
And I think he's got these Bama boys ready to feed. And now that we're adding Texas and Oklahoma, I ain't worried. It's going to be horns down all the way for us this year against Texas. But, Coach, it's been an absolute amazing thing for me this year to be able to talk to you, and absolutely had a blast with you guys on the field against Jersey and after the game against Peach State. And we're definitely looking forward to showing up when training camp starts for you guys, be able to talk to you guys again. And, I wish you the best of luck with the meeting for tomorrow, and congratulations with the 3-year contract through 2027. But Coach, if you look at it, a lot of your players consider you as one of the most resilient coaches. In your own words, what makes you the better coach? In your own words, what makes you the better coach?
Well, I think for me, some of these guys have been in some different situations where they may have been told one thing and then it wasn't what it was supposed to be when they got there, or things weren't done that were supposed to be done. The biggest thing that I focus on as a coach is to provide the best opportunity for our players, put them in a situation that they're taken care of. With Thrive Wheeling there, that they be able to go there for their cryo and their recovery for their bodies. That type of stuff is huge. It's really, they say it in high school, the more you care for the guys, they're going to, respond better to you. Saying with these guys, they're grown men. Like, you got to treat them as such. And when they know that you actually care for them and care about their lives, it doesn't even have anything to do with football. It's just a different mindset. And this has been my biggest thing of, you always hear the old adage of, oh, he'll run through a wall for that guy, right? Well, I want to create an atmosphere where they run through the whole damn building. When you create now you're dominating. Like, you're tearing everything up in your path. Forget the wall. We're tearing down everything in front of us. And when they know that they got people to care for them like that, they're going to give their all and they're going to sacrifice for each other. And it's just, they just know that it's bigger than football for them. And they'll end up becoming better people at the end of their time. And they'll look back and be like, man, do you remember when we had to do that or do this? And you remember when Coach Rez said that? There's things that they can apply to their life. And that's, I think that kind of what separates me from some of the other coaches, that I'm not just about the X's and O's, So I think that's kind of what kind of separates me.
I'm gonna make you laugh real quick before I let you go, Coach. I'm gonna make you laugh. So the day we were up in the Highlands and we were interviewing a lot of the players, especially you, I didn't get a chance to catch up with one of your players, Sean McGee, Mr. Georgia Bulldog. That day we were up in the Highlands, I was wearing my Alabama hat. And I got scared because I thought he was going to try to whoop my ass, and I was going to have to start singing the Georgia Bulldogs song. But Coach, I want to say I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I know you're on the road and you got some meetings to get to for tomorrow. But Coach Rez, I want to say congratulations on the AAL2 championship this year, and the absolute undefeated season, and the fierceness that you have these guys on offense and defense. That offense and defense is absolutely God-fearing right now. And we cannot wait to see you guys in action. And TCG Sports, I'm not going to take up any more of my man's time. But Coach Rez, thank you so much for showing up today. I greatly appreciate it. We all love you guys, and let's go Miners, bud.
Absolutely, we appreciate it. It's been a blast. Looking forward to see what comes up ahead of us, and you can be right there with us. So it's going to be a good time.
Absolutely, Coach. We'll be there with you guys. I think, what is it, February for you guys to start?
Yeah, the week of February 10th right now, they're targeting March 1st weekend to be opening weekend. So that means we would start camp. You can start camp 3 weeks before your first game. That 2 weeks to camp and a week of the first game week, obviously. So about the February 10th week is when we're targeting to start camp.
Yeah, I know absolutely. I'm going to get a hold of owner Chris Duffy here before that time comes. But also, Coach, you going to check out any of the Nailers games this year, bud?
Absolutely. We're a big supporter of the Nailers. It was new faces in town, so it was a little slow at first, but we got a plan together, and we're going to be working on some stuff together for some cross promotion stuff, which is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to being there for that. I know they're going to a different division this year, so I know it's going to be a little bit tougher for them. Them northern teams that play hockey, man, are pretty tough. So, but Coach Army's going to do a good job with those guys, and they're going to be ready to go.
Absolutely. Coach Rez, I appreciate you joining me for the day. I'm sorry I bothered you being on the road, but I'm glad to be able to talk to you again. Oh, and by the way, I haven't been able to wash my jersey yet. It still smells like champagne and beer. I do greatly appreciate that.
You're welcome, bud.
But TCG Sports, I'm here with my man and the greatest coach in Wheeling, West Virginia right now, and the Miners fans are surrounding this as the most unbelievable thing we could ever notice. But TCG, I'm not done with Coach Rez. We're going to see him again here in the next couple months, if not here sooner. But Coach Rez, I want to say thank you so much. You have a safe trip and be careful out there, bud.
Hey, I appreciate it at any time. We appreciate what you guys do.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it, Coach Rez. You be safe. TCG Sports, I'm done. I'm out. I quit for the rest of the day.